Do you want your child to make smart choices and stay away from drugs? The answer isn't just telling them what to choose, it's teaching them how to decide. Today, we're talking about helping your child make good decisions because their choices shape their future. Parents and caregivers are the first line of defense. Hi, I'm Aaron, and welcome back to Talk Before They Try, brought to you by the Kent County Health Department. This is episode 7. If you haven't seen our first 6 episodes, pause here and check them out. We're joined once again by Cole Williams, CEO and founder of Cole Speaks. He'll share insights on guiding young people through tough choices. Here's an awesome quote from none other than Abraham Lincoln. The best way to predict the future is to create it. There's a lot of wisdom in that, both for us and our kids. Let's take a moment to think back to when you were 12 or 13. What was a tough choice you faced? Maybe picking friends or trying something risky. How did you decide? Did you weigh your options or just go with your gut? Looking back, was it the right call? Or do you wish you'd chosen differently? Those decisions shaped you. And right now, you're helping your child learn to make smart choices. Why do decision-making skills matter? Children learn by watching us make choices. When parents model a clear process, children are less likely to make choices like trying drugs. Here are 3 components needed for good decision making. Clarity. A structured process helps children think through options. Confidence. Knowing how to decide builds independence. Consequences. Weighing outcomes helps avoid risks. Teens face tough choices, like whether to try drugs at a party. Maybe you've seen your child struggle, or just follow the crowd. Teaching them how to think through decisions can keep them safe. The good news? You can start today. Here are 3 ways to teach decision-making skills. First, model a process. Show your child how you decide. Say, I'm choosing a job, so I'll list pros and cons. Let them see your steps. Second, guide their choices. Ask, if a friend offers you a vape, what are your options? What might happen? Third, praise good decisions. Say, I'm proud of how you thought through that. This builds confidence. Try this at home. Help your child decide something small, like an after-school activity or what to have for dinner. Ask, what are your options? What's good and bad about each? Guide them to pick and reflect later. Here's a helpful conversation starter. You've got a big choice coming up. Want to talk through your options together? Now we've got a question from a parent about decision making. My child makes impulsive choices, like hanging out with the wrong friends. How can I help them think things through? Great question. Guide them through a process by asking about options and outcomes. Show them how to make a pro-con list. Brainstorm possible options. Then practice analyzing the benefits and the risks. Model it yourself too. With practice, they'll think before acting. Now let's hear again from Cole Williams. Cole is going to be talking with us about how to help young people navigate choices. Cole, why are decision-making skills so important for avoiding drug use?
Decision making skills are critical for anything because we know that one choice can impact a lifetime when it comes to a teenager. And we also recognize that when we think about drug use or anything connected to drug and alcohol use, we know that there could be some real harmful ramifications from that. And so we want our children to be able to make really sound decisions, but also feel equipped to be able to do that. And I think that's why that parent relationship is so important because parents truly are the experts when they gather that information. And all the research tells us that teenagers look to their parents for that information. So I think it's critical that teenagers have the ability to be able to make decisions for their health and wellness.
What's one way parents can help their child think through tough choices?
Is to talk to them through tough choices. I think when there's a tough situation that happens, parents tend to lean towards punishment, or they tend to lean towards something that isn't connected to necessarily the opportunity to learn or to engage in solving the problem. I've worked with parents and have been a parent that when there is a problem, I tend to want to solve it and then say, move out of the way. I got it. And I think we don't create those building blocks for teenagers to have that self-esteem to be able to trust that they can make their own decisions and do it well. I think for me, it's just really, really important that as parents, we recognize that we don't always have to have the answers and we don't always have to be right, but we also have to be able to be at a space in our own selves when it comes to parenting to be able to show up when those times are tough and the conversations are critical.
How can parents support impulsive young people, those who act before thinking it through?
Not take it personal. It feels like it's personal because you often become what most parents describe, and I've described, a broken record. And we tend to ask questions that we already know answers to. And so I had to learn not to set my sons up by asking them why did they do this and then get upset when they don't give me the answer that I wanted, knowing that that's really a setup. Because if I know that my son is impulsive and I know that my son or daughter are making decisions that are impulsive, then it really isn't personal. It's just really how their brain is wired at the moment. And so I think once I started understanding how the brain worked, it really removed some of those challenges that I had in terms of looking at my sons as it relates to their behavior. Their behavior was them versus recognizing that the behavior that I'm seeing as it relates to that impulsivity could be connected primarily to the brain. And so once I started parenting from the brain perspective, it really shifted the way that I interacted with my sons.
What's a practical tip for parents to teach decision making today?
Give them opportunities where they make decisions for the family so that they don't just seem like their only role is to be the child that is either told what to do or the expectations of the child is really about doing. But oftentimes, many children want to connect with their families and they don't often have responsibilities that go beyond doing chores. And so I think when we give our kids opportunities to engage in some of those decision making opportunities that keep the family thread together, that helps them build the self-esteem or the courage, or it just helps build that muscle. Let me just say that. I think it helps build the muscle to making some of those tough decisions. When our kids make mistakes, that we don't shame them, that we don't guilt them, but we help them find the answers and we don't solve their problems for them, but we walk alongside them as they're trying to figure it out. And so that's why that modeling is so important. And that's why the home is the perfect place for all things, because children learn by way of the relationships of the people that are the closest to them. The more and more you have those opportunities for kids to make mistakes, and knowing that you make mistakes as well, we all want that grace and mercy when we don't meet the expectations of the people that are around us. And not to say that making mistakes mean, okay, you made a mistake, don't do it again, but recognizing that mistakes are opportunities to learn. If we want our children to learn how to navigate the world, they first often have to learn how to figure that out right there in their own home. And so I think we just have to create spaces for kids to do that.
Thanks, Cole. Those tips will help us guide our children in making better decisions. In our next episode, we'll explore helping children cope with anxiety without drugs. If you're finding value in Talk Before They Try, join us for the rest of the series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment about a time your child made a good choice. What helped them? Please do us a favor. Answer a short survey to help us improve our future videos. The link is found in the description. Thanks for joining us for Talk Before They Try. And remember, parents are the first line of defense.